Howard Carter's name is synonymous with ancient Egypt, a name that echoes through the annals of history. Born in 1874, his early life was far from the scorching sands and ancient tombs he would become known for. Instead, it was filled with the lush greenery and serene landscapes of 19th century England. He grew up in a small village in Norfolk, England, a place that seemed worlds away from the mysteries of the ancient world. His father, a gifted artist, instilled in him a love for art and meticulous detail. This artistic environment nurtured his budding talents. Young Carter was a keen observer, fascinated by the natural world. He would spend countless hours exploring the countryside, observing the intricate details of plants and animals. He spent hours sketching the flora and fauna around his home, capturing the beauty of nature with his pencil. This eye for detail, nurtured from a young age, would prove crucial in his later archaeological pursuits. His sketches were not just drawings, they were detailed studies that honed his observational skills. Carter's formal education was limited, but his thirst for knowledge was insatiable. He devoured books, especially those that transported him to distant lands and ancient times. He was particularly drawn to the ancient world, captivated by stories of lost civilizations and the mysteries they held. Museums and books became his windows to these far-off places. This fascination, combined with his artistic talent, led him to the path of archaeology. He began to dream of uncovering the secrets of the past. At the age of 17, a pivotal opportunity arose. A letter arrived that would change the course of his life forever. Carter was invited to join the Egypt Exploration Fund as a tracer. This was a dream come true for the young artist and aspiring archaeologist. This marked the beginning of his lifelong love affair with Egypt, a journey that would lead him to some of the most significant archaeological discoveries of all time. Arriving in Egypt in 1891, Carter was immediately enthralled by the land's rich history and culture. The bustling streets, the vibrant markets, and the ancient ruins all seemed to whisper secrets of a bygone era. The ancient monuments, the hieroglyphics, the sheer weight of history captivated his imagination. The pyramids stood as silent sentinels of a grand civilization, while the Sphinx, with its enigmatic gaze, seemed to challenge him to uncover its mysteries. He diligently copied inscriptions and drawings, honing his skills under the guidance of experienced archaeologists. Each stroke of his pen was a step closer to understanding the lives and beliefs of the ancient Egyptians. Carter quickly established a reputation for his meticulous work and keen eye. His attention to detail and unwavering dedication set him apart from his peers, earning him respect and admiration in the archaeological community. He was not simply tracing the past, he was breathing life into it, recreating the artistry of ancient Egyptians with remarkable precision. His reconstructions were so vivid that they seemed to transport viewers back in time, allowing them to witness the grandeur of ancient Egypt firsthand. His talent did not go unnoticed. In 1899, at the young age of 25, Carter was appointed Chief Inspector of Monuments for Upper Egypt by the Egyptian Antiquities Service. This prestigious position was a testament to his burgeoning reputation and his potential to make significant contributions to the field. This was a remarkable achievement, a testament to his burgeoning reputation in the field. It was a role that came with immense responsibility, but Carter embraced it with enthusiasm and determination. Carter thrived in this role. He oversaw excavations, meticulously documented findings, and passionately advocated for the preservation of Egypt's fragile heritage. His efforts ensured that the stories of ancient Egypt would be preserved for future generations to study and appreciate. He was laying the groundwork for his most significant discovery, one that would forever etch his name in the annals of history. The Valley of the Kings, with its hidden tombs and untold treasures, awaited his exploration. Little did he know, he was on the brink of uncovering a find that would captivate the world and redefine our understanding of ancient Egypt. In 1907, a fateful meeting occurred that would change the course of Carter's career. He was introduced to George Herbert, the 5th Earl of Carnarvon, a wealthy British aristocrat with a passion for Egyptology. Carnarvon was immediately impressed by Carter's knowledge and enthusiasm. He agreed to finance Carter's excavations, providing the much-needed resources to pursue his archaeological dreams. Thus began a partnership that would become legendary. Carnarvon, with his wealth and influence, provided the financial backing. Carter, the passionate and dedicated archaeologist, provided the expertise and unwavering determination. Together, they formed a formidable team. Their shared goal to uncover the tomb of a little-known pharaoh named Tutankhamun, believed to be hidden somewhere in the Valley of the Kings. Little did they know, this quest would consume them for years to come. The Valley of the Kings, a desolate yet majestic landscape, became Carter's obsession. Year after year, he meticulously excavated, his team sifting through sand and rubble under the scorching Egyptian sun. The work was arduous and often disheartening. False leads, dead ends, and the constant pressure of expectation weighed heavily on Carter. Yet he persevered, driven by an unshakable belief that Tutankhamun's tomb lay hidden beneath the sands. Carnarvon, though initially enthusiastic, grew increasingly impatient with the lack of results. The annual expeditions were costly and doubts began to creep in. However, Carter's unwavering belief eventually convinced Carnarvon to fund one final season. This last-ditch effort, a testament to both men's faith and determination, would prove to be the most significant in archaeological history. A fateful discovery, uncovering the steps to Tutankhamun's tomb. November 4th, 1922, dawned like any other day in the Valley of the Kings. The air was crisp and the golden hues of the rising sun bathed the ancient landscape in a mystical glow. Carter's team, weary from years of toil, began work on a new section, clearing debris near the tomb of Ramesses VI. They had been at this for so long, their hopes often dashed by false leads and empty chambers. As they dug, they stumbled upon a series of steps cut into the rock. The discovery was unexpected, a glimmer of hope in their relentless pursuit. Excitement rippled through the team. The air buzzed with anticipation and the possibility of a monumental find. Could this be it? Could this be the entrance they had been tirelessly searching for? The questions hung in the air, heavy with expectation. Carter, cautious yet optimistic, ordered the steps to be cleared. Every movement was deliberate, every action filled with the weight of history. As the sand and rubble were removed, a sealed doorway emerged, marked with the necropolis seal. Hope surged through Carter. This seal was a sign, a promise of something extraordinary. This was no ordinary tomb. The intricate designs and the seal suggested something far more significant. With bated breath, Carter sent a telegram to Carnarvon, who was back in England. The message was brief but filled with excitement and urgency. At last have made wonderful discovery in Valley, a magnificent tomb with seals intact, recovered same for your arrival, congratulations. The words were simple, yet they carried the weight of years of effort and dreams. The world was about to rediscover Tutankhamun. This was the beginning of a journey that would captivate the imagination of millions and rewrite history. As Carter and his team delved deeper into the tomb, they uncovered a treasure trove of artifacts. Each item, meticulously crafted, told a story of a bygone era. The sheer opulence of the burial goods was staggering, revealing the immense wealth and craftsmanship of ancient Egypt. From golden chariots to intricate jewelry, the tomb was a testament to the grandeur of Tutankhamun's reign. The discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb sparked a global fascination with ancient Egypt. Known as Egyptomania, this cultural phenomenon saw Egyptian motifs influencing everything from fashion to architecture. Museums around the world scrambled to exhibit Egyptian artifacts, and the public's appetite for all things Egyptian seemed insatiable. This newfound interest not only brought ancient history to the forefront, but also inspired a generation of archaeologists and historians. The excavation of Tutankhamun's tomb revolutionized the field of archaeology. It set new standards for excavation techniques and documentation, ensuring that future discoveries would be preserved with the utmost care. Moreover, Tutankhamun's legacy permeated popular culture, from movies and literature to art and music. The boy king became a symbol of mystery and adventure, captivating the imagination of people across the globe. Even today, the allure of Tutankhamun endures. His tomb remains one of the most visited sites in Egypt, drawing millions of tourists each year. The treasures of Tutankhamun continue to tour the world, enchanting audiences with their beauty and historical significance. The story of the boy king, discovered almost a century ago, still resonates, reminding us of the timeless fascination with ancient Egypt and its enigmatic pharaohs. Deep in the heart of Nubia, where the Nile River flows through the sands of time, lies a land steeped in history and mystery. This ancient region, with its vast deserts and fertile riverbanks, has been a cradle of civilization for millennia. Here stand the colossal temples of Abu Simbel, a marvel of ancient engineering and artistry. These towering monuments, carved directly into the sandstone cliffs, are guarded by 4 colossal statues of Ramesses II. Each statue, with its intricate details and imposing presence, tells the story of a time when pharaohs ruled with divine authority. Their imposing figures, each reaching over 65 feet in height, have captivated travelers and explorers for centuries. These statues are not just stone carvings, they are a testament to the grandeur and ambition of ancient Egypt. Abu Simbel is more than just a temple complex. It's a testament to the power and ambition of one of ancient Egypt's most celebrated pharaohs. The walls of the temples are adorned with intricate hieroglyphics and carvings that depict the might and achievements of Ramesses II. The temple's location was strategically chosen. Nestled on the border between Egypt and Nubia, it served as a sentinel, watching over the lands and resources that were vital to the kingdom's prosperity. It sits on the border between Egypt and Nubia, a region rich in gold and other resources. The Nile River, flowing serenely nearby, was a lifeline, providing water, transportation and sustenance to the people of this ancient land. The imposing facade served as a powerful statement to any who dared to enter Egypt's southern frontier. It was a declaration of strength and a warning to potential invaders. It declared the might and authority of Ramesses II, reminding all of his dominion over these lands. The inscriptions and carvings are not just decorative, they are a chronicle of a ruler's legacy, etched in stone for eternity. As the sun sets over Abu Simbel, casting long shadows over the statues, one can't help but feel a sense of awe. The guardians of Nubia stand as silent sentinels, watching over the land and its people, a reminder of a glorious past that continues to inspire and captivate. Under the starlit sky, the temples of Abu Simbel come alive with a mystical glow. The guardians of Nubia, bathed in the soft light, seem almost ethereal, as if whispering the secrets of the ages to those who listen. Visitors from around the world come to witness this marvel, their faces reflecting the wonder and admiration that these ancient guardians inspire. The legacy of Ramesses II and the grandeur of Abu Simbel continue to leave an indelible mark on all who behold them. Ramesses II, who reigned from 1279 to 1213 BC, is considered one of Egypt's greatest pharaohs. His reign was marked by ambitious building projects, military campaigns, and a flourishing of art and culture. Abu Simbel, his most impressive architectural achievement, was intended to immortalize his legacy and honor the gods of ancient Egypt. Over time, the sands of the desert swallowed Abu Simbel. The temples lay forgotten for centuries, their existence known only through local legends. Then, in 1813, Swiss explorer Johann Ludwig Burckhardt stumbled upon the site. He was captivated by the sight of the colossal statues peeking out from beneath the sand. A monumental rescue, the Great Relocation. In the 1960s, the construction of the Aswan High Dam posed a significant threat to Abu Simbel. The rising waters of Lake Nasser, the reservoir created by the dam, would have submerged the temples entirely.
To save this ancient wonder, UNESCO launched an unprecedented international rescue operation. The temples were carefully cut into massive blocks, each weighing between 20 and 30 tons. These blocks were then transported and reassembled on higher ground 200 feet above the original site.
The relocation was a remarkable feat of engineering and international cooperation, ensuring the preservation of Abu Simbel for generations to come. The temples of Abu Simbel are not just architectural marvels, they are a testament to the grandeur and ambition of ancient Egyptian civilization. Nestled on the western bank of Lake Nasser, these temples have stood the test of time, witnessing the rise and fall of empires. Abu Simbel consists of two temples. These monumental structures were originally carved out of the mountainside during the reign of Pharaoh Ramesses II in the 13th century BC. They were intended to demonstrate the power and divine nature of the pharaoh. The larger temple, the Great Temple, is dedicated to Ramesses II himself, as well as the gods Amun, Ra-Horakhti and Ptah. The facade of the Great Temple is dominated by four colossal statues of Ramesses II, each standing over 20 meters tall, gazing out across the desert. The interior is a labyrinth of halls and chambers adorned with intricate reliefs and towering statues. These halls were designed to impress and inspire awe, with every surface covered in detailed carvings that tell the story of Ramesses II's reign and his divine right to rule.
The small temple, is dedicated to Ramesses II's beloved wife, Queen Nefertari, and the goddess Hathor. This temple is equally impressive, with its own set of statues and carvings that celebrate the queen's beauty and grace. The walls of both temples are covered in detailed carvings. These carvings are not just decorative, they are a visual record of the beliefs, achievements, and daily life of the ancient Egyptians. These carvings depict scenes from Ramesses II's reign, including his military victories, religious ceremonies, and family life. They provide a glimpse into the world of ancient Egypt, showing us the pharaoh's prowess in battle, his devotion to the gods, and his role as a family man.
The vibrant colors, miraculously preserved for millennia, bring these ancient stories to life. The hues of red, blue, yellow, and green are as vivid today as they were thousands of years ago, allowing us to connect with the past in a way that words alone cannot convey. As we explore these temples, we are not just looking at stone and paint. We are stepping into a world that has been carefully crafted to honor the gods and immortalize the legacy of one of Egypt's greatest pharaohs. One of the most remarkable features of Abu Simbel is its astronomical alignment. Twice a year, on February 22nd and October 22nd, the rising sun penetrates the Great Temple's inner sanctuary. The sunlight illuminates the statues of Ramesses II and the gods Amun and Ra-Horakhti, bathing them in a golden glow. This phenomenon, a testament to the ancient Egyptians' advanced understanding of astronomy, is believed to have coincided with significant events in Ramesses II's reign, such as his coronation or the start of the harvest season. The story of Abu Simbel is one of survival against all odds. Over the millennia, the temples have withstood the ravages of time, including natural disasters such as sandstorms and earthquakes. Yet they have remained remarkably well preserved, a testament to the skill and dedication of the ancient builders. From its creation by a powerful pharaoh to its rediscovery by intrepid explorers and its ultimate relocation to escape the rising waters, the history of Abu Simbel is a tale of human ingenuity and perseverance. The temples are a source of inspiration, reminding us of the incredible achievements of the past and the importance of preserving our cultural heritage. It serves as a powerful reminder of the enduring legacy of ancient Egypt and the importance of preserving our shared cultural heritage for generations to come. The ongoing preservation efforts at Abu Simbel ensure that this remarkable site will continue to inspire and educate people for many years to come. As we look to the future, we must remain committed to protecting and celebrating the rich history and cultural achievements of our ancestors. The Nile, lifeblood of ancient Egypt, its waters a source of sustenance, its rhythm a heartbeat echoing through the ages. For the ancient Egyptians, life was a tapestry woven with music and motion, dance an inseparable part of their world. From grand ceremonies to intimate gatherings, dance punctuated their existence. A celebration of life, a bridge to the divine. Imagine the sun-drenched land thousands of years ago. Hear the echoes of drums and flutes carried on the desert breeze. Picture the vibrant colours, the swirling fabrics, the rhythmic movements of dancers. This was ancient Egypt, a civilization that embraced dance in all its forms. Dance was not merely entertainment, it was a language, a way to communicate with the gods, to honour their pharaohs, to express joy and sorrow. It was woven into the very fabric of their society, a testament to their deep connection with the rhythms of life and the cosmos. The walls of ancient Egyptian tombs and temples whisper stories. Stories told not just in hieroglyphs and carvings, but in vibrant images of dancers. These paintings, frozen moments in time, offer a glimpse into the past. They capture the grace, the athleticism, and the sheer joy of dance in ancient Egypt. Look closely at the murals. Notice the elegant postures of the dancers, their limbs contorted in seemingly impossible positions. See the energy radiating from their bodies, the smiles on their faces. These images are not mere decorations, they are snapshots of a culture that lived and breathed dance. The tombs of the nobles are particularly revealing. Here, scenes of daily life unfold, including depictions of dancers entertaining at banquets. These images show us that dance was not just for rituals and ceremonies, it was also a part of everyday life, a source of pleasure and amusement. The evidence is clear. Dance was ubiquitous in ancient Egypt, permeating every level of society. From the pharaoh to the peasant, everyone danced. In the ancient Egyptian worldview, dance held cosmic significance. It was believed to have played a role in the creation of the universe. The god Osiris, often depicted as a mummified king, was also a god of vegetation and rebirth. His annual festival included dances that celebrated the cycle of life, death, and resurrection. Pharaohs used dance to assert their authority and connect with the divine. They performed rituals and dances to reinforce their status as intermediaries. These performances were grand spectacles designed to inspire awe. The said festival was a jubilee celebration performed by pharaohs after 30 years of rule. It included rituals and dances to rejuvenate the pharaoh's strength. Dance was a powerful tool to connect with the divine and ensure cosmic order. Who were these dancers who moved with such grace and precision? They came from all walks of life. Some were priests and priestesses trained from childhood to perform sacred rituals. Others were professional entertainers hired to perform at banquets and festivals. Among the most skilled and revered dancers were the women of the House of Music. These women, often attached to temples, dedicated their lives to music and dance. They were highly trained musicians, singers and dancers, and their performances were considered to be offerings to the gods. There were also specialized dancers, such as the Mu dancers, who performed acrobatic dances, and the dwarf dancers, who were often employed by the wealthy for their entertainment value. Regardless of their status, all dancers played an important role in Egyptian society, using their bodies and movements to connect with the divine, to entertain, and to tell stories. The ancient Egyptians were masters of adornment, and dance costumes were no exception. From the simplest linen kilts to elaborate headdresses and jewellery, dancers adorned themselves in ways that enhanced their movements and added to the visual spectacle. Female dancers often wore long, flowing dresses made of sheer linen. These dresses, sometimes pleated or draped, allowed for freedom of movement while still revealing the contours of the body. They might also wear beaded nets or vests over their dresses, adding another layer of texture and sparkle. Headdresses were an important part of the costume, often signifying the dancer's role or status. Some dancers wore simple wreaths of flowers, while others donned elaborate headdresses made of feathers, beads and precious metals. These headdresses, some reaching several feet in height, would have swayed and shimmered with the dancer's every move. Dancers also wore jewellery, both real and costume. Necklaces, earrings, bracelets and anklets all added to the visual impact of the performance. The jingle of these ornaments provided a rhythmic accompaniment to the music and enhanced the dancer's movements. No discussion of ancient Egyptian dance would be complete without mentioning the music. Music and dance were inseparable, each enhancing and complementing the other. The ancient Egyptians had a rich musical tradition, and their instruments were as varied as their dances. Percussion instruments played a central role, providing the driving rhythms that fueled the dances. Drums of various sizes and shapes were essential. Some were played with the hands, others with sticks. Clappers, cymbals and sistrums, a type of rattle, added to the percussive texture. Wind instruments such as flutes, oboes and clarinets provided melodies and harmonies. The flute, in particular, was a popular instrument, its haunting sound evocative of both joy and sorrow. String instruments such as harps, lyres and lutes added depth and richness to the music. Imagine the sound of these instruments combined with the rhythmic clapping and chanting of the audience. The music would have been both exhilarating and hypnotic, transporting the dancers and viewers alike to another realm. Dance in ancient Egypt was not limited to religious rituals and funerary rites. It was also an integral part of celebrations, festivals and everyday life. Dances were performed to celebrate births, marriages, harvests and victories in battle. One of the most important festivals was the annual flooding of the Nile. This event, upon which all life in Egypt depended, was celebrated with great joy and abandon. Dances were performed to honor Hapi, the god of the Nile, and to ensure a bountiful harvest. Fertility dances, often performed by women, were another important genre. These dances, meant to ensure the continuation of life and the prosperity of the land, were characterized by their sensuality and earthiness. They often involved gestures and movements that mimicked the act of procreation. These celebratory dances, filled with joy, energy and a zest for life, remind us that the ancient Egyptians, while deeply spiritual, also knew how to have fun. Death for the ancient Egyptians was not an end but a transition. It was a journey to the afterlife, a realm where the deceased would live on in spirit form. Dance played a crucial role in these funerary rituals, helping to guide the deceased on their journey and to ensure their safe passage to the underworld. Mourners often performed dances expressing grief and lamenting the loss of their loved ones. These dances, slow and mournful, were often accompanied by the wailing of mourners and the playing of flutes. Other dances, performed by priests and priestesses, were intended to appease the gods and to ensure the deceased's safe passage to the afterlife. These dances were often highly ritualized, involving specific steps, gestures, and incantations. One of the most important funerary rituals was the opening of the mouth ceremony. This ritual, intended to restore the deceased's senses and allow them to eat, drink, and speak in the afterlife, involved a series of symbolic gestures, including the use of a ritual adze to touch the mouth of the deceased's mummy or statue. The sands of time have buried much of ancient Egyptian civilization, yet the echoes of their dances still resonate. We find them in the graceful movements of belly dance, a dance form with roots in ancient Egyptian rituals and traditions. The undulating torso, the fluid arm movements, the emphasis on feminine grace and sensuality. These elements of belly dance can be traced back to the dances depicted in ancient Egyptian art. While the exact steps and movements have evolved over the centuries, the essence of ancient Egyptian dance lives on. The influence of ancient Egyptian dance can also be seen in other art forms, from the stylized movements of Egyptian folk dances to the choreography of modern ballets and operas inspired by ancient Egyptian themes. Dance in ancient Egypt was more than just entertainment. It was a way of life, a language, a bridge to the divine. Through dance, the ancient Egyptians expressed their deepest beliefs and connected with the rhythms of the cosmos. The legacy of ancient Egyptian dance lives on in the images carved on tombs and temples. As we gaze upon the pyramids and temples, let us remember the dances that once animated these spaces. Let us marvel at the enduring power of dance to connect us to the past. Beauty, a reflection of holiness. In the golden sands of ancient Egypt, beauty wasn't just skin deep. It was a reflection of holiness, a sign of favor from the gods. The Egyptians believed that a pleasing appearance indicated a pure soul. This belief permeated every aspect of their lives, from their elaborate rituals to their daily routines. This spiritual connection between beauty and divinity fueled the Egyptians' fascination with cosmetics. They weren't merely tools to enhance, they were sacred instruments to connect with the divine. Cosmetics were used to ward off evil, ensure good health, and appease the gods. In essence, applying makeup was an act of devotion. Cosmetics for all, a spiritual connection. In ancient Egypt, the pursuit of beauty transcended gender. Both men and women adorned themselves with cosmetics. This widespread use underscores the deep spiritual significance Egyptians attached to their appearance. Men, women, and even children painted their eyes with kohl, a dark pigment believed to ward off the evil eye. They believed that a well-presented appearance, regardless of gender, reflected a harmonious balance between the physical and spiritual realms. This belief fostered a society where cosmetics were not seen as frivolous, but as essential tools for spiritual well-being. The alchemy of kohl, a chemical marvel. This ancient cosmetic has fascinated historians and chemists alike for centuries. Of all the cosmetics used in ancient Egypt, kohl reigned supreme. It was more than just a tool for beauty, it was a symbol of status, health, and even spirituality. This dark, dramatic eyeliner wasn't just a fashion statement, it was a chemical marvel. The Egyptians believed that kohl had protective and healing properties, making it an essential part of their daily lives. The Egyptians created kohl by grinding and blending ingredients like galena, a lead-based mineral, with other substances like burnt almonds and malachite. This meticulous process required skill and knowledge passed down through generations. The galena gave kohl its intense black colour and acted as an antiseptic, protecting the eyes from infections. This was particularly important in the harsh, sandy environment of Egypt, where eye infections were common. The Egyptians believed that the almond oil helped to cleanse and soothe the delicate skin around the eyes. This oil was not only a cosmetic ingredient but also a skincare remedy, providing moisture and protection against the dry desert air. They also understood that malachite, a copper carbonate mineral, possessed antibacterial properties, further safeguarding their eyes from the harsh desert conditions. This green mineral was not just for colour. It was a crucial component in their eye care regimen, demonstrating their advanced understanding of natural substances. Kohl was more than a cosmetic. It was a part of the cultural and spiritual fabric of ancient Egypt. It was used in religious ceremonies believed to ward off evil spirits and was even found in the tombs of pharaohs, signifying its importance in the afterlife. Today, scientists continue to study ancient kohl, uncovering its complex composition and the sophisticated techniques used by the Egyptians. This ancient cosmetic remains a testament to their ingenuity and their deep connection to the natural world. Healing hues, cosmetics as medicine. The ancient Egyptians were pioneers in the use of cosmetics, not just for beauty, but for health and healing as well. The Egyptians' understanding of cosmetics went beyond aesthetics. They recognized their medicinal properties. They believed that beauty and health were intertwined, and their cosmetic practices reflected this holistic approach. The Ebers Papyrus, an ancient medical text dating back to 1550 BC, provides valuable insights into this aspect. This extensive document is one of the oldest and most important medical papyri of ancient Egypt, containing over 700 remedies and formulas. It details recipes for cosmetics that doubled as treatments for skin ailments and eye infections. These recipes were meticulously recorded, showcasing the Egyptians' advanced knowledge of natural ingredients and their applications. For instance, the Egyptians used red ochre, a natural clay earth pigment, not only as blush but also as a treatment for skin inflammations. This pigment was believed to have protective and healing properties, making it a staple in their cosmetic and medicinal toolkit. They believed that its natural drying properties could help soothe irritations. Red ochre was often mixed with other ingredients to enhance its effectiveness, demonstrating their sophisticated approach to skin care. Similarly, green malachite, apart from its cosmetic uses, was employed as an antiseptic for wounds and eye infections. This vibrant green mineral was ground into a fine powder and applied to affected areas, harnessing its natural antibacterial properties. This merging of beauty and medicine showcases the Egyptians' advanced understanding of natural ingredients and their therapeutic benefits. Their innovative use of cosmetics as medicine highlights a culture that valued both appearance and well-being, setting a precedent for future generations. Today, modern science continues to uncover the wisdom behind these ancient practices. Researchers study the compositions and applications of these ancient cosmetics, revealing their potential benefits and inspiring new approaches in both beauty and medicine. The legacy of ancient Egyptian cosmetics lives on, influencing contemporary beauty products and treatments. By blending ancient wisdom with modern science, we continue to explore the healing power of cosmetics, just as the Egyptians did thousands of years ago. From palettes to pots, the evolution of beauty kits. The Egyptians' love for cosmetics spurred a fascinating evolution in how they stored and carried their beauty essentials. Early forms of cosmetic storage involved simple, functional containers. Over time, these containers transformed into elaborate expressions of artistry and craftsmanship. One of the earliest examples is the Nama palette, dating back to 3100 BC. This ceremonial palette, used for grinding and mixing cosmetics, demonstrates the early integration of beauty and artistry. Crafted from siltstone, it depicts scenes of unification and power, highlighting the importance of cosmetics in even the most significant ceremonies. Tools of the trade applying ancient allure. The application of cosmetics in ancient Egypt was a meticulous ritual, requiring specialized tools. These tools, often crafted from materials like wood, bone and ivory, illustrate the Egyptians' dedication to achieving their desired aesthetic. Coal applicators, for instance, were thin, elongated tools, often made of wood or ivory. These applicators allowed for precise application of the coal along the lash line, creating the dramatic eye look synonymous with ancient Egyptian beauty. Small spoons, carved from bone or ivory, were used to scoop out ointments and creams from jars, ensuring hygienic application and preventing contamination. Status symbols, cosmetics, and social standing. While cosmetics were ubiquitous in ancient Egypt, access to certain ingredients and elaborate containers signified social standing. The use of makeup was not merely for aesthetic purposes, but also a reflection of one's place in society. The elite enjoyed access to rare and expensive ingredients, such as lapis lazuli, a deep blue gemstone imported from distant lands. This gemstone was highly prized and often reserved for the upper echelons of society. This luxurious pigment was used to create vibrant blue eyeshadow, a colour associated with royalty and divinity. The blue eyeshadow was not just a cosmetic choice, but a symbol of power and divine favour, often depicted in the art and statues of gods and pharaohs. The containers for these cosmetics also reflected social hierarchy. The design and material of a cosmetic container could indicate the owner's wealth and status. While commoners used simple clay pots, the elite commissioned elaborate containers made from materials like alabaster, gold and precious stones. These materials were not only more durable but also more visually striking, making them perfect for showcasing one's status. These containers, often adorned with intricate carvings and precious jewels, served as status symbols, showcasing the owner's wealth and influence. The more elaborate and ornate the container, the higher the social standing of its owner. In many ways, these cosmetic containers were as much a part of the elite's identity as their clothing and jewellery, reflecting their place in the social hierarchy of ancient Egypt. Beauty inside and out. The ancient Egyptians' approach to beauty provides a fascinating glimpse into a civilization that valued both the aesthetic and the practical. Cosmetics were not merely superficial adornments, they were tools of spiritual connections, symbols of status, and even instruments of medicine. From the chemical ingenuity of coal to the evolution of cosmetic palettes, the ancient Egyptians' pursuit of beauty left an indelible mark on history. Their legacy reminds us that beauty can be both powerful and purposeful, reflecting deeper cultural values and beliefs. It is a testament to the enduring human desire to enhance our appearance and connect with something larger than ourselves. Thebes, the heart of ancient Egypt. Nestled on the banks of the Nile, Thebes was more than just a city. It was the beating heart of a civilization, showcasing human ambition, faith and artistry. Join us as we uncover the rich history and significance of this ancient city, exploring its grand temples, its royal tombs, and its pivotal role in shaping the story of ancient Egypt. Thebes, even in its ruined state, whispers of a time when it was the religious epicenter of ancient Egypt, particularly during the powerful New Kingdom. Imagine a city alive with the sound of priestly chants, the air thick with the scent of incense burning in honor of Amun-Ra, the king of the gods. Here, within the colossal Karnak temple complex, the Egyptians paid homage to their deities in ceremonies of unparalleled grandeur. The temple, a sprawling testament to their faith, grew over centuries, each pharaoh adding his own mark to this sacred landscape. Luxor Temple, bathed in the golden glow of the setting sun, was a place for ordinary Egyptians to connect with the divine. Together, these two temples formed the spiritual heart of Thebes, a place where the earthly and the divine intertwined. The ancient Egyptians believed in a life after death, a belief reflected in the grandeur of their tombs. Just across the Nile, on the west bank, lies the Theban necropolis, a city of the dead as magnificent as the city of the living. Here, in the Valley of the Kings and the Valley of the Queens, pharaohs and their consorts were laid to rest, surrounded by treasures they believed would accompany them into the afterlife. The tomb of Tutankhamun, a relatively minor pharaoh, yielded a treasure trove of artifacts that captivated the world's imagination. But perhaps even more impressive are the elaborate tombs of rulers like Seti I and Ramses VI, their walls adorned with vibrant scenes from the Book of the Dead. Dotting the landscape are the mortuary temples, grand structures built not for the dead but for their memory. These temples, along with the royal tombs, stand as silent sentinels, guarding the secrets of Egypt's past. For centuries, Thebes was more than just a religious centre. It was the vibrant heart of a nation, the capital of a mighty empire. Imagine the bustling streets of Thebes during its zenith, a time when it was known as the City of 100 Gates. Thebes' rise to prominence began during the Middle Kingdom, when Mentuhotep II reunited the two lands after a period of division. He moved the capital to Thebes, laying the foundation for its future glory. But it was during the New Kingdom that Thebes truly flourished, reaching the pinnacle of its power and influence. Under the rule of powerful pharaohs like Thutmose III and Amenhotep III, Thebes became a metropolis, a hub of international trade and a centre of art and culture. The city's wealth was evident in its grand temples, its opulent palaces, and the luxurious lifestyle of its elite. Yet, even after losing its political dominance, Thebes remained a city of immense religious and cultural significance, a testament to its glorious past. Few sights on earth can compare to the awe-inspiring grandeur of the Karnak temple complex. Imagine standing before this colossal structure, its towering pylons reaching towards the heavens, a symbol of human devotion and architectural genius. Karnak was not simply a temple. It was a city within a city, a complex of temples, chapels and monuments dedicated to the Theban triad Amun-Ra, Mut and Khonsu. The hypostyle hall, with its forest of massive columns, is perhaps the most iconic image of Karnak. The construction of Karnak spanned over 2 millennia, with each successive pharaoh feeling compelled to leave his mark on this sacred complex. From the massive pylons and obelisks to the intricate reliefs and inscriptions that adorn its walls, Karnak stands as a testament to the ambition, ingenuity, and deep religious fervour of the ancient Egyptians. The story of Thebes is not just one of religious devotion and architectural grandeur, it is also a story of conflict and resilience. Thebes found itself at the heart of several pivotal moments in Egyptian history, times when the very existence of the kingdom was threatened. One such period was the Second Intermediate Period, a time of turmoil and division when Egypt fell under the rule of the Hyksos, a foreign power from the Levant. The Hyksos, with their superior weaponry and military tactics, conquered much of Lower Egypt, pushing the native Egyptian rulers south. Thebes, however, refused to submit. Theban rulers, seeing themselves as the true heirs to the pharaonic legacy, waged a long and bloody war against the Hyksos, a conflict that would determine the fate of Egypt. Finally, under the leadership of Ahmose I, the founder of the 18th dynasty, the Egyptians triumphed. Ahmose I, a Theban prince, drove the Hyksos out of Egypt, reuniting the two lands and ushering in a new era of Egyptian power and prosperity. Thebes, at its zenith, was more than just a political and religious capital. It was the cultural heart of ancient Egypt, a city alive with creativity and artistic innovation. Imagine the workshops of Thebes, filled with skilled artisans, sculptors, painters, weavers, their hands bringing life to stone, wood and fabric, transforming them into works of breathtaking beauty. The tombs and temples of the Theban necropolis offer a glimpse into this vibrant artistic tradition. The walls of these structures are adorned with intricate murals and carvings, each one a masterpiece that speaks volumes about the artistic skill and the religious beliefs of the ancient Egyptians. Theban artists and craftsmen were renowned throughout the ancient world for their skill. Thebes became a center for the production of luxury goods, from exquisite jewelry and finely crafted furniture to colorful textiles and beautifully painted pottery. Thebes' rise to prominence was fueled, in part, by its strategic location. Situated on the banks of the Nile, the lifeblood of Egypt, Thebes controlled the agricultural wealth of the surrounding region. Thebes' location also made it a natural hub for trade. Caravans laden with exotic goods from Nubia to the south and Punt to the east converged on Thebes, bringing with them gold, ivory, ebony, incense and other treasures. The wealth generated by this trade enriched the city, filling the coffers of the pharaohs and enabling them to embark on ambitious building projects and military campaigns. The opulence of Thebes was evident in its grand temples and monuments, its luxurious palaces and the lavish lifestyle of its elite. Even the mightiest of empires are not immune to the tides of time. Thebes, for centuries the heart of a civilization, eventually experienced a slow decline, its power and influence waning as new powers rose to prominence in the ancient world. The first blow came in 663 BCE, when the Assyrian king Ashurbanipal sacked Thebes. The Assyrians, a ruthless and efficient military force, had conquered much of the Near East, and Egypt, weakened by internal strife and economic decline, was unable to withstand their onslaught. The sack of Thebes by the Assyrians was a traumatic event for the Egyptians. The city, once considered invincible, was plundered and burned, its temples desecrated, its treasures carried off to Assyria as spoils of war. Thebes never fully recovered from the Assyrian sack. Centuries later, under Roman rule, Thebes was again sacked, this time after a revolt against Roman authority. Thebes may lie in ruins, its grand temples and palaces reduced to rubble, but its story continues to resonate across the millennia. The remains of this once great city, spread across the modern-day city of Luxor, are now a UNESCO World Heritage Site, a testament to their enduring historical, architectural and cultural significance. The Karnak and Luxor temple complexes, the Valley of the Kings, the Valley of the Queens, and the numerous other tombs, temples and monuments scattered across the Theban necropolis offer an unparalleled glimpse into the world of ancient Egypt. Today, Thebes is one of Egypt's most popular tourist destinations, attracting visitors from all corners of the globe. Thebes was more than just a physical city. It was a powerful symbol woven deeply into the fabric of Egyptian mythology and religious belief. The Egyptians believed that Thebes was the earthly counterpart of the primordial mound that emerged from the waters of chaos at the beginning of creation. It was here, in the heart of Thebes, that the god Amun-Ra, the king of the gods, was said to have first emerged, bringing light and order to the world. Thebes' association with Amun-Ra elevated it to a position of supreme religious significance. The Opet festival, one of the most important events in the Egyptian religious calendar, was celebrated annually in Thebes. Thebes, in the eyes of the ancient Egyptians, was a sacred city, a place where the boundaries between the earthly and the divine were blurred. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the ancient city of Thebes. From its grand temples that scraped the sky to the whispers of pharaohs in the Valley of the Kings, Thebes stands as a testament to human ambition, ingenuity, and the enduring power of belief. Death in ancient Egypt was not an end, but a transition, a pause before embarking on a perpetual journey to the afterlife. This belief fueled the practice of mummification, a complex and sacred ritual designed to preserve the physical body for the soul's eternal existence. The Egyptians believed that the soul, or ka, needed a physical form to inhabit in the afterlife. Mummification, therefore, was not merely about preserving the deceased, but about ensuring their successful transition and journey in the next world. This meticulous process transformed the deceased into an eternal being, ready to face the challenges and rewards of the afterlife. Imagine the hustle and bustle of ancient Egypt. The hot desert sun beats down on the land. The Nile River flows serenely, its banks teeming with life. Amidst this vibrant backdrop, a death has occurred, casting a somber shadow over the community. Yet there is no despair, only a quiet acceptance of the next stage of existence. For the Egyptians, death was simply a transition, a doorway to another realm. And to navigate this passage successfully, one needed the proper preparation, mummification. The Egyptians were deeply spiritual people. Their lives revolved around the cycles of nature and the promise of life after death. Central to this belief was the concept of the ka, the spiritual essence or soul of an individual. This ka played a vital role in the afterlife. It was believed to journey to the underworld, face judgment, and ultimately, if deemed worthy, achieve eternal life. But for the ka to survive, it needed a vessel, a physical form to return to. Hence, the elaborate and highly ritualized process of mummification evolved. This intricate procedure, shrouded in mystery and steeped in symbolism, was not merely about preserving the body from decay. It was about preparing the deceased for an eternal voyage, ensuring that they had everything they needed to navigate the trials and tribulations of the underworld and emerge triumphant in the afterlife. The intricacies of mummification varied greatly depending on social status and wealth. Elaborate procedures reserved for the elite, like pharaohs and high-ranking officials, involved meticulous organ removal and preservation using expensive resins and perfumes. Commoners, however, received a more simplified version, often involving less intricate organ treatment and simpler wrappings. Interestingly, even animals held a place in the afterlife. Beloved pets and animals deemed sacred, like cats, were often mummified, their treatment reflecting the reverence they held in Egyptian society. Imagine the bustling workshops of the embalmers, the air thick with the scent of exotic spices and resins. Here, amidst glistening tools and linen bandages, the bodies of the deceased were received with utmost care and reverence. Yet, not all were treated equally. Ancient Egyptian society, much like our own, was stratified, with social standing playing a significant role in life and death. The pharaohs, considered divine rulers, received the most elaborate and costly mummification. Their bodies were meticulously prepared, organs carefully removed and placed in special containers called canopic jars, and the body cavities cleansed and filled with precious resins and perfumes. The process could take up to 70 days to complete, a testament to the importance placed on ensuring the pharaoh's successful transition to the afterlife. High-ranking officials and nobles also received elaborate mummifications, though not as opulent as the pharaohs. Their wealth and status afforded them the luxury of skilled embalmers and finer materials. Commoners, on the other hand, received a more simplified version. While their bodies were still treated with respect and care, the process was less intricate, and the materials used were more readily available. Sometimes a single treatment was applied to multiple mummies to reduce costs. The mummification process, a closely guarded secret of the embalmers, was a marvel of ancient science and ritual. It began with the purification of the body. The deceased was washed with water from the sacred Nile River, a symbolic act cleansing the body and spirit for the journey ahead. Next, the internal organs, believed to be susceptible to decay, were removed. This delicate procedure, performed with specialized tools, involved extracting the lungs, liver, stomach, and intestines. Only the heart, the seat of intelligence and emotion, was left intact, for it would be needed in the afterlife during the weighing of the heart ceremony. The removal of the organs marked a critical stage in the mummification process. It was not a haphazard or purely practical procedure, but a deeply symbolic act. The Egyptians believed that the body needed to be as intact as possible for the afterlife, but they also recognized the problem of decomposition. Thus, they developed a system where the organs, most prone to decay, were removed and preserved separately, ensuring that a vital part of the individual remained intact for their journey to the afterlife. Once removed, the organs were thoroughly cleansed and treated with natron, a naturally occurring salt mixture found in the desert which acted as a desiccant, drawing out moisture and preventing decay. This process was crucial, as it ensured the long-term preservation of the organs. After drying, the organs were wrapped in linen and placed in special containers known as canopic jars, which were then placed within the tomb alongside the mummy. Section 4. Safeguarding the Essence. Canopic Jars and the Four Sons of Horus. The canopic jars were more than just containers. They were intricate works of art imbued with religious significance. Each jar was adorned with the head of a deity, each representing one of the four sons of Horus, the falcon-headed god of kingship. These sons, Imseti, Hapi, Duamutef, and Kebesenuef, were tasked with protecting specific organs. Imseti, with a human head, guarded the liver. Hapi, with the head of a baboon, protected the lungs. Duamutef, characterized by the head of a jackal, watched over the stomach, and Kebesenuef, with the head of a falcon, safeguarded the intestines. The placement of the organs within these specific jars, each protected by a son of Horus, highlights the Egyptians' belief in the interconnectedness of the physical and spiritual realms. Every step of the mummification process was imbued with symbolism, each action carefully orchestrated to ensure the deceased's well-being in the afterlife. The sons of Horus, through their protective roles, served as intermediaries between the world of the living and the dead, guiding and safeguarding the deceased's organs on their journey to eternity. These beautifully crafted jars, often made of alabaster or limestone, were more than just containers. They were seen as miniature sarcophagi, protecting vital parts of the deceased for eternity. Their presence within the tomb underscored the belief that the body in its entirety played a crucial role in the afterlife. The care and artistry lavished upon these jars are a testament to the Egyptians' deep respect for the dead and their commitment to ensuring a smooth transition to the afterlife. The power of natron, drying for eternity. With the organs removed and placed in their respective canopic jars, the next stage of the mummification process focused on dehydrating the body. This was crucial to prevent decomposition. The Egyptians used natron, a naturally occurring salt mixture found in abundance in the desert, for this purpose. The body, covered in natron packs, was laid on a slanted table, allowing fluids to drain away. Natron, a desiccant, played a vital role in mummification. It acted like a sponge, drawing out all the moisture from the body, effectively halting the process of decomposition. This natural salt, readily available in the Egyptian desert, became synonymous with preservation, its use extending beyond mummification to preserving food and other perishable goods. For about 40 days, the body remained immersed in this natron bath, slowly drying and becoming resistant to decay. The embalmers, skilled in their craft, regularly checked the progress, ensuring the body was dehydrating properly. This period of drying was crucial, as it transformed the body from a perishable vessel into a lasting symbol of eternal life. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more fascinating historical explorations. Few figures in history command the awe and intrigue of Alexander the Great. His name echoes through the annals of time, a symbol of unparalleled ambition and military genius. This Macedonian king, born in 356 BC, conquered vast swathes of the ancient world, creating an empire that stretched from Greece to Egypt and into the heart of Asia. His campaigns were marked by strategic brilliance and relentless determination, leaving an indelible mark on the course of Western civilization. His influence extended beyond the battlefield, shaping the cultural and intellectual landscape of the regions he conquered. Yet the final resting place of this legendary conqueror remains one of history's most enduring mysteries. Despite numerous accounts and theories, the exact location of Alexander's tomb has eluded discovery for over 2 millennia. The search for Alexander's tomb has captivated historians, archaeologists and treasure hunters for centuries, each driven by the hope of uncovering one of the greatest archaeological finds of all time, fueled by tantalizing clues and a profound desire to uncover the secrets buried within. Ancient texts and historical records provide hints, but none have led to a definitive discovery. The significance of finding Alexander's tomb extends far beyond the recovery of lost treasure or the confirmation of historical records. It represents a bridge to the past, a direct link to one of history's most influential figures. Within that lost mausoleum lies the potential to unlock a deeper understanding of Alexander himself, his beliefs, his ambitions, and his legacy. The artifacts and inscriptions within could provide unprecedented insights into his life and the era he dominated. The tomb's discovery would offer invaluable insights into the funerary practices, artistry and cultural exchange of the Hellenistic period, a time when Alexander's conquests forged connections between East and West. In 323 BC, at the age of 32, Alexander the Great's triumphant reign was cut short in Babylon. The circumstances surrounding his death remain shrouded in mystery, with theories ranging from illness to poisoning. Some accounts describe a high fever, while others point to the possibility of assassination by rivals within his own ranks. Regardless of the cause, Alexander's death plunged his vast empire into chaos. Without a clear heir, his generals, known as the Diadochi, engaged in a bitter power struggle that would last for decades. Amidst this turmoil, the fate of Alexander's body became a matter of immediate concern. Tradition dictated that a king of Alexander's stature deserved a lavish burial and a magnificent tomb. However, the logistics of preserving and transporting his body presented a considerable challenge in the ancient world. The journey from Babylon to his Macedonian homeland was long and arduous, and the summer heat posed a significant risk of decomposition. One of Alexander's most trusted generals, Ptolemy the Vsoter, ultimately took possession of the king's body. Ptolemy, a man of great ambition and vision, saw in Alexander's remains not just the body of a fallen leader, but a powerful symbol that could cement his own authority and legacy. Ptolemy, who would later establish himself as the ruler of Egypt, initially transported Alexander's remains to Memphis, the ancient capital of Egypt. Memphis, a city steeped in history and tradition, was a fitting temporary resting place for the great conqueror. The journey to Memphis was a grand procession, reflecting the reverence and respect Alexander commanded even in death. There, Alexander was embalmed by Egyptian priests, masters of the art of preserving the dead. The embalming process was intricate and sacred, involving rituals and techniques perfected over millennia. The priests, with their deep knowledge of mummification, ensured that Alexander's body would be preserved for eternity, a testament to his enduring legacy. Memphis, however, was not intended to be Alexander's final resting place. Ptolemy had grander plans, envisioning a tomb that would reflect the greatness of Alexander and serve as a symbol of his own rule. The discussions and planning for this monumental task were extensive, involving architects, artisans, and scholars. Ptolemy envisioned a grander tomb for his former king and comrade, a monument that would not only honor Alexander, but also legitimize Ptolemy's own claim to power and his vision for a new Hellenistic dynasty in Egypt. The construction of this tomb was a massive undertaking, requiring resources and labor on an unprecedented scale. It was a project that would take years to complete, but Ptolemy was determined to see it through. Thus began the construction of a magnificent tomb in Alexandria, the vibrant cosmopolitan city Ptolemy founded on the shores of the Mediterranean. Alexandria, with its strategic location and cultural significance, was the perfect site for Alexander's final resting place. The city itself was a testament to Ptolemy's vision, a melting pot of cultures and ideas, reflecting the Hellenistic ideals of knowledge and progress. The exact location and design of this tomb remain a subject of debate, but historical accounts describe a structure of remarkable grandeur, adorned with precious materials and guarded by a contingent of soldiers. The tomb was not just a burial site, but a monument to Alexander's achievements and Ptolemy's aspirations. It was a place where the past and future converged, a symbol of continuity and change. Alexander's tomb in Alexandria quickly became a site of pilgrimage and veneration. People from all walks of life, from scholars to soldiers, made the journey to pay their respects. The tomb became a focal point for the Hellenistic world, a place where people could connect with the legacy of Alexander and the new era Ptolemy was ushering in. People from across the Hellenistic world flocked to pay their respects to the fallen conqueror, transforming his tomb into a symbol of Alexander's enduring legacy and Ptolemy's burgeoning power. The tomb was more than just a final resting place. It was a beacon of hope and inspiration, a reminder of the greatness that could be achieved through vision and determination. Alexander's journey did not end with his death. It continued through the lives and aspirations of those who came after him, forever etched in the annals of history. Despite its initial prominence, Alexander's tomb in Alexandria seemingly vanished from the historical record. This disappearance has puzzled historians and archaeologists for centuries, sparking numerous quests and expeditions to uncover its secrets. The tomb, once a symbol of Alexander the Great's unparalleled legacy, now exists only in the annals of history and the imaginations of those who seek it. While ancient writers provided detailed descriptions of the tomb's splendor and the rituals performed there, concrete information about its precise location and ultimate fate remains elusive. These descriptions paint a picture of a grand mausoleum adorned with precious metals and intricate carvings, a fitting tribute to one of history's most legendary figures. Yet, despite these vivid accounts, the physical evidence of the tomb's existence has remained frustratingly out of reach. Over the centuries, numerous theories have been proposed to explain the tomb's disappearance. Scholars have pored over ancient texts, debated the reliability of historical accounts, and examined every clue with meticulous care. Some suggest that the tomb was hidden deliberately to protect it from grave robbers, while others believe it was simply forgotten as the city of Alexandria evolved and expanded. Some historians believe that the tomb was destroyed during periods of unrest and upheaval that plagued Alexandria throughout its history. The city, a melting pot of cultures and a hub of trade, was no stranger to conflict. Riots, invasions, and political turmoil could have easily led to the tomb's destruction, its treasures looted, and its structure reduced to rubble. Earthquakes, fires, and the destructive fury of various conquerors all left their mark on the city, potentially obliterating Alexander's tomb in the process. Natural disasters, such as the devastating earthquake of 365 AD, reshaped the landscape of Alexandria, toppling buildings and altering the course of history. Fires, too, ravaged the city, consuming everything in their path, including perhaps the final resting place of Alexander the Great. Another theory suggests that the tomb might have been lost more gradually, swallowed by the shifting sands of time. As centuries passed, the once majestic structure could have been buried beneath layers of sand and debris, hidden from view and forgotten by the world. Nature, relentless and unyielding, has a way of reclaiming what was once hers, erasing the marks of human achievement. Alexandria's coastline is known to have shifted over the centuries, with portions of the ancient city now submerged beneath the waters of the Mediterranean Sea. The relentless advance of the sea, combined with the gradual erosion of the coastline, has transformed the landscape dramatically. Entire sections of the city, once bustling with life, now lie beneath the waves, silent witnesses to a bygone era. It is possible that Alexander's tomb, or at least parts of it, met a similar fate, buried beneath layers of sediment and lost to the encroaching sea. Underwater, archaeological explorations have uncovered remnants of ancient Alexandria, offering tantalizing glimpses into the past. Yet the tomb of Alexander the Great remains elusive, a mystery waiting to be unraveled by future generations of explorers and historians. The sands of time have long concealed the daily lives of those who lived in ancient Egypt. Yet beneath the scorching desert sun, whispers from the past remain. Tombs, adorned with intricate paintings and carvings, offer us a unique window into their world. These vibrant scenes, preserved for thousands of years, provide a glimpse into the lives of ancient Egyptians, including their children. The Egyptians believed in life after death, a realm mirroring their earthly existence. They meticulously decorated their tombs with scenes from their daily lives, hoping to carry these experiences into the afterlife. These images, frozen in time, offer us invaluable insights into their customs, beliefs, and even the games their children played. Stepping into the painted chambers of ancient Egyptian tombs is like stepping back in time. We are transported to a world teeming with activity where children are not merely passive observers but active participants in the bustle of daily life. The tombs, particularly those from the Old and Middle Kingdoms, are replete with scenes of children engaging in various activities. These images reveal a society that cherished childhood and recognized the importance of play. Children are often depicted alongside adults participating in chores and celebrations. Their presence in these scenes suggests a close-knit family structure where children were integral members of the household and community. The tomb of Mereruka, a high-ranking official from the 6th dynasty, offers a captivating glimpse into the world of ancient Egyptian children. Among the many vibrant scenes adorning its walls, we find depictions of children engaged in playful acrobatics. These agile youngsters twist and contort their bodies into impressive poses, showcasing their flexibility and balance. One scene depicts a group of children forming a human pyramid, their small bodies balanced precariously atop one another. Another shows a young girl gracefully arched backward, her hands touching the ground behind her. These acrobatic displays were not merely forms of amusement. They were likely part of religious festivals and celebrations, adding an element of spectacle and entertainment to these important events. The rock-cut tombs of Beni Hassan, dating back to the Middle Kingdom, provide further evidence of the importance of movement and dance in ancient Egyptian culture. These tombs, carved meticulously into the cliffs, stand as silent witnesses to the vibrant life that once thrived here. The tombs, belonging to provincial governors, feature scenes of children engaged in a whirling dance, their bodies spinning and twirling with joyous abandon. These images capture the essence of youthful exuberance and the communal spirit of the time. Similarly, the tomb of Keti showcases children caught in mid-twirl, their colourful garments swirling around them like vibrant blossoms. The vivid colours and dynamic poses bring these ancient scenes to life, allowing us to glimpse the past. These whirling dances, likely accompanied by music and rhythmic clapping, were not only a form of entertainment but also a way for children to express themselves creatively and connect with their cultural heritage. Through these dances, they celebrated their identity and passed down traditions from one generation to the next, ensuring the continuity of their rich cultural tapestry. The scorching Egyptian sun dictated much of daily life, and clothing was no exception. The intense heat and relentless sun shaped the way ancient Egyptians dressed, influencing their choice of materials and styles. Ancient Egyptian children, much like their adult counterparts, donned light and airy garments suited to the hot climate. These garments were designed to keep them cool and comfortable, allowing them to go about their daily activities without being hindered by the oppressive heat. Linen, a fabric woven from the flax plant, was the material of choice, its breathable nature providing comfort in the sweltering heat. The process of weaving linen was an essential skill, passed down through generations, ensuring that everyone had access to this vital fabric. Young children, particularly boys, were often depicted wearing little to no clothing, their bare skin allowing them to stay cool under the desert sun. This minimalistic approach to clothing was practical and efficient, helping them avoid overheating. Girls, as they grew older, would wear simple linen dresses, often held up by straps over the shoulders. These dresses were not only functional, but also allowed for a degree of modesty as they transitioned into adulthood. These lightweight garments allowed for ease of movement, essential for active children engaged in play and exploration. The freedom of movement provided by their clothing enabled them to fully enjoy their childhood, exploring the world around them without restriction. The ancient Egyptian concept of childhood extended beyond mere survival. It encompassed play and imagination. Archaeological excavations at Kahun, a workers' town associated with the pyramid of Senusret II, have unearthed a treasure trove of children's toys, providing tangible evidence of their playful pursuits. Among the finds are balls made of woven fibres, their simple construction belying hours of fun spent tossing and catching. Wooden sticks, resembling miniature javelins, hint at games of skill and accuracy, while small carved figurines of animals ignite the imagination, transporting children to a world of make-believe. These toys, simple yet enduring, offer a poignant reminder that the desire for play transcends time and culture. Play in ancient Egypt was not limited to physical activity, it also encompassed games of skill and strategy. These games were an integral part of daily life and were enjoyed by both the young and the old. Board games, in particular, were popular pastimes, enjoyed by people of all ages, including children. These games were often played in the evenings or during festivals, bringing families and communities together. Two of the most well-known ancient Egyptian board games are Senet and Mehen. These games have been discovered in various archaeological sites, indicating their widespread popularity. Senet, a game of strategy played on a long, narrow board with 30 squares, involved moving pieces according to the roll of dice. The game required careful planning and foresight to outmaneuver opponents. The game, often found depicted in tomb paintings, was believed to have religious significance, representing the journey of the soul through the afterlife. It was thought that mastering Senet could help one navigate the challenges of the afterlife. Mehen, named after the snake god, was played on a circular board resembling a coiled serpent. The unique design of the board added an extra layer of complexity to the game. Players would move their pieces around the board, attempting to capture their opponent's pieces. The game required strategic thinking and a deep understanding of the rules to succeed. These games not only provided entertainment, but also honed children's cognitive skills and strategic thinking. They were a vital part of education, teaching important life skills through play. The Nile River, the lifeblood of ancient Egypt, was not only a source of sustenance but also a playground for children seeking respite from the desert heat. Swimming was a popular activity, and tomb scenes often depict children frolicking in the river's cool waters. One scene shows a group of children splashing and playing in the shallows, their laughter echoing through the ages. Another depicts children swimming alongside adults, their bodies sleek and agile in the water. The Nile, despite its inherent dangers, provided a much-needed escape from the scorching sun, offering children a chance to cool off, socialize, and engage in carefree play. The scenes etched into the walls of ancient Egyptian tombs offer us a poignant and enduring glimpse into the lives of children who lived thousands of years ago. These images, imbued with a sense of timelessness, remind us that childhood, with its inherent joys and wonder, transcends time and cultural boundaries. While our knowledge of ancient Egyptian childhood remains fragmentary, these glimpses into their world paint a picture of a society that valued play, creativity, and the importance of family. The toys they cherished, the games they played, and the laughter that undoubtedly filled their days are testaments to the universality of childhood experiences. France in the late 18th century was a nation ablaze with revolution and ambition. The streets of Paris echoed with the cries of liberty, equality and fraternity as the old order was dismantled and a new era began to take shape. The French Revolution had reshaped the political landscape, toppling monarchies and challenging the very foundations of European society. It was a time of great upheaval and even greater possibilities. Amidst this chaos, a young general named Napoleon Bonaparte was rising to prominence. His military prowess and strategic genius were quickly becoming the stuff of legend. His eyes were set on glory, and his gaze fell upon the ancient land of Egypt. To him, Egypt was not just a distant land, but a gateway to immortality.
Egypt, once a cradle of civilization, is now a strategic prize. Its location at the crossroads of Africa and Asia made it a key to controlling trade routes and exerting influence over the region. It holds the promise of disrupting British trade routes to India and expanding French influence. Control over Egypt could shift the balance of power in Europe.
Napoleon, however, saw beyond the geopolitical chessboard. He was not just a soldier, he was a visionary. He was captivated by the stories of Egypt's glorious past. The land of the pharaohs, with its pyramids and ancient mysteries, called to him like a siren song. The pharaohs, the pyramids, the mysteries of a lost civilization, these ignited a fire in his imagination. He dreamed of uncovering the secrets that had been buried for millennia.
Not just as a conqueror, but as a patron of knowledge, a beacon of enlightenment in a world shrouded in darkness. Uncovering the secrets buried beneath the sands. The treasures of Egypt were not just gold and jewels, but the wisdom of an ancient civilization.
In 1798, Napoleon embarked on his Egyptian expedition. It was a bold and audacious move, one that would test his leadership and vision. He carried with him not just the might of the French army, but the hopes and dreams of a nation, but also a contingent of scholars, scientists and artists. This was no ordinary military campaign. It was a quest for knowledge. This was a dual mission, to conquer Egypt and to unravel its ancient mysteries. The expedition was as much about discovery as it was about domination.
The expedition resonates with the spirit of the Enlightenment. It was a time when reason and science were seen as the keys to unlocking the mysteries of the world. Europe is in the throes of intellectual curiosity, eager to rediscover its classical past. The scholars who accompanied Napoleon were driven by a thirst for knowledge, eager to rediscover its classical past. They sought to bring the light of understanding to the dark corners of history. Egypt, with its ancient civilization and enigmatic monuments, holds an irresistible allure. It was a land of wonder and mystery, waiting to be explored.
The expedition was a testament to Napoleon's belief in the power of knowledge, even as he waged war. He saw himself as a bridge between the past and the future. Even as he waged war. The battles fought in the sands of Egypt were not just for territory, but for the soul of a civilization. He saw the conquest of Egypt not just as a military objective, but as an opportunity to advance human understanding. It was a chance to rewrite history. Little did he know that his expedition would spark a global fascination with ancient Egypt, igniting a passion that would span centuries, giving birth to the field of Egyptology. Scholars from around the world would flock to Egypt, drawn by the allure of its ancient secrets, and forever changing our understanding of this ancient civilization. The legacy of Napoleon's Egyptian expedition is one of discovery, knowledge, and an unending quest for the truth. Napoleon's armada set sail from Toulon harbour, its destination the shores of Egypt. This ambitious expedition was not just a military endeavour, but a grand vision of conquest and enlightenment. The ships were laden not only with soldiers and weaponry, but also with scientific instruments, books and art supplies. Napoleon envisioned a new era of discovery, where the might of the French military would be complemented by the intellectual prowess of its scholars. The French troops landed in Alexandria in July 1798, quickly overwhelming the city's defences. The initial success was a testament to the meticulous planning and sheer force of Napoleon's army.
Promising to free the Egyptians from Ottoman rule, my words were meant to inspire and win the hearts of the local population, portraying the French as their saviors.
His words, however, rang hollow as the French army advanced southwards, leaving behind a trail of destruction. Villages were razed and the local populace suffered under the harsh realities of war. The Battle of the Pyramids, fought on the outskirts of Cairo, was a testament to French military might. The sight of the ancient pyramids standing witness to the clash of modern armies was both awe-inspiring and tragic. The Mamluk cavalry, though renowned for their prowess, was no match for the disciplined volleys of the French infantry. The battle showcased the superiority of French tactics and the devastating effectiveness of their firepower. Cairo fell into French hands, and with it, control of the Nile Delta. This strategic victory allowed the French to establish a foothold in Egypt, but it also marked the beginning of a prolonged and arduous campaign. But the conquest was far from over. The French faced continuous resistance from local forces and the looming threat of foreign intervention. The British Navy, sensing a threat to their interests in the region, engaged the French fleet at the Battle of the Nile. This confrontation would prove to be a pivotal moment in the campaign. The French, caught unawares in Abu Qir Bay, suffered a crushing defeat. The loss of their fleet was a devastating blow, isolating Napoleon's forces in a hostile land. This naval disaster effectively stranded Napoleon's army in Egypt, cutting off their supply lines and reinforcements. The French soldiers, now isolated, had to rely on their resourcefulness and resilience to survive. The siege of Acre, however, proved to be a turning point. The Ottoman defenders, backed by British naval support, repelled repeated French assaults. The fortifications of Acre stood strong against the relentless French attacks. Napoleon, facing mounting casualties and news of unrest back in France, was forced to abandon the siege. The dream of a swift and glorious conquest was slipping away. His dreams of conquering the East lay shattered. The once ambitious campaign had turned into a struggle for survival and a race against time. His Egyptian adventure, though ultimately a military failure, had planted the seeds for something far greater, a renaissance in the study of ancient Egypt. The scholars who accompanied the expedition made groundbreaking discoveries, uncovering the mysteries of a civilization long forgotten. Among these discoveries was the Rosetta Stone, a key to unlocking the secrets of Egyptian hieroglyphics. This artifact would become one of the most important tools in the study of ancient languages and cultures. The work of these scholars culminated in the monumental Description de l'Égypte, a comprehensive record of the expedition's findings. This publication would inspire generations of historians, archaeologists, and Egyptologists. Today, the legacy of Napoleon's Egyptian campaign lives on in the continued fascination with ancient Egypt. The treasures uncovered and the knowledge gained have left an indelible mark on our understanding of history. Napoleon's invasion of Egypt, though driven by imperial ambitions, also marked the beginning of a new era of intellectual exploration. This campaign was not just about territorial conquest, it was also about the conquest of knowledge. Alongside his soldiers, Napoleon brought with him a carefully selected group of over 160 scholars, scientists, artists, and engineers. These individuals were not mere observers. They were active participants in a grand experiment to uncover the secrets of an ancient civilization. This group, known as the Commission of the Sciences and Arts of Egypt, was tasked with a unique mission to systematically study and document the ancient civilization they were conquering. Their work would go on to influence generations of historians, archaeologists and scholars, meticulously recording their observations of ancient monuments, deciphering hieroglyphs and studying local customs. Their efforts were not limited to grand temples and pyramids. They also documented everyday life, providing a comprehensive picture of Egyptian society. Their work, conducted amidst the chaos of war, laid the foundation for our modern understanding of ancient Egypt. Despite the constant threat of conflict, these scholars remained focused on their mission, driven by a passion for discovery. For the first time, Europe was getting a glimpse of Egypt not through the distorted lens of myth and legend, but through the objective eyes of science. This shift in perspective was revolutionary, challenging long-held beliefs and sparking a new era of Egyptology. These scholars, driven by a thirst for knowledge, braved the scorching desert heat, the threat of disease, and the constant dangers of war. Their resilience and dedication were remarkable as they navigated both the physical and intellectual challenges of their work. Their dedication to their task, even as battles raged around them, stands as a testament to the enduring power of human curiosity. They were not deterred by the chaos around them. Instead, they used it as a backdrop for their groundbreaking research. Imagine an endless sandy expanse, suddenly interrupted by a stream of vitality teeming with life. This is the Nile, the vital essence of ancient Egypt. In the northeastern corner of Africa, a civilization ascended from the sands, taming the harsh environment and etching its story into history. This was ancient Egypt, a civilization that spanned over 3,000 years, from around 3100 BC to the descent of the last pharaoh, Cleopatra, in 30 BC. At its heart flowed a river like no other. The Nile, the longest river in the world, stretched over 4,000 miles, its waters flowing northward from the highlands of East Africa, through the Sahara to the Mediterranean Sea. But what set the Nile apart was not its length, but its role in shaping a civilization. For the ancient Egyptians, the Nile was more than a river. It was a lifeline, it was a god, it was the pulse of a civilization that would leave an indelible mark on the world. In a land dominated by arid desert, the Nile was a lifeline, a verdant strip of land on either side of the river. The Nile Valley was a haven of fertility. Here, the ancient Egyptians grew their crops, built their cities, and buried their dead. The contrast was stark. A stream of vitality surrounded by a sea of sand, life flourishing amidst sterility. The Nile was not just a provider, but also a pathfinder. It was the highway that connected Upper Egypt in the south, with its rocky cliffs and ancient tombs, to Lower Egypt in the north, with its fertile delta and bustling cities. It was the artery that pumped life into the heart of ancient Egypt, a constant, reliable presence that dictated the rhythms of daily life and the cycles of the seasons. Thus begins the tale of the Nile, a tale intertwined with the ascend and descend of one of the world's most intriguing civilizations. What was it about the Nile that made it so pivotal to ancient Egypt? It was, in the words of the Greek historian Herodotus, the gift of the Nile. Let's delve into the heart of this gift, the annual flooding of the Nile, a natural phenomenon that was as reliable as the sunrise. This predictable inundation was nothing short of a miracle for the ancient Egyptians. The floodwaters, carrying rich, fertile silt from the heart of Africa, spread across the plains, replenishing the soil and transforming the arid landscape into a verdant paradise. With this rich black silt, the Egyptians found the perfect canvas for agriculture. They cultivated wheat, flax and papyrus, harnessing the bounty of the Nile to sustain and grow their population. It was this life-giving soil that allowed them to develop surplus, a key factor in the rise of complex societies. Imagine, if you will, the scene of ancient farmers hunched over in the fields under the scorching sun, their sweat mixing with the fertile mud of the Nile. They are not merely tilling the soil, they are shaping the very foundations of one of the world's earliest and greatest civilizations. The Nile's predictability allowed the Egyptians not just to survive, but to thrive. They developed a calendar based on the river's cycles, and by predicting the floods, they could plan their planting and harvesting around it. This understanding of the river's rhythms led to advancements in technology and the establishment of a stable economy. But the Nile was not merely a source of physical sustenance. It was, in every sense, a life force, a deity to be revered and worshipped. It was the heart of their spiritual beliefs, the wellspring of their mythology, and the inspiration for their awe-inspiring architecture and art. The Nile, then, was not just a river, but the very foundation upon which the grand edifice of ancient Egypt was built. The river's gift was not just water, but civilization itself, a testament to the power and the potential that lay in the harnessing of nature's bounty. Beyond its agricultural bounty, the Nile served as the superhighway of ancient Egypt. This mighty river was not just a source of life, but also a path that carved its way through the desert, the heartline of a civilization. The Nile, flowing from the south to the north, was a natural transportation route. It was the lifeblood of Egypt, a highway that moved people, goods, and ideas. Imagine, if you will, the hundreds of boats that would have dotted its expanse, carrying everything from grain and gold to stone and stories. Trade was the lifeblood of any ancient society, and Egypt was no different. The Nile played a pivotal role in this, providing a route for the exchange of goods. Boats laden with wheat from the fertile fields of the delta would make their way to the markets of Upper Egypt, while those from the south would carry gold and precious stones. The river was a bustling marketplace, a conduit for economic prosperity. But it wasn't just trade that the Nile facilitated. Communication, too, was carried along its waters. Messages from the pharaoh would be dispatched up and down the river, ensuring the kingdom's orders were heard far and wide. It connected cities, towns, and people, knitting together the fabric of the ancient civilization. Moreover, the Nile was also a strategic military route. Expeditions would set sail from its banks, venturing into unknown territories, defending the kingdom's borders, or sometimes expanding them. The Nile was a witness to countless tales of valor and victory, of ancient Egypt's might and majesty. The river's significance was such that it fostered the development of remarkable navigation skills and the construction of advanced boats. From simple reed rafts to grand royal barges, the evolution of Egyptian naval technology is a testament to the Nile's importance. In the vast desert of Egypt, the Nile was the bustling highway, the conduit that connected a civilization. It was more than just a river. It was the artery of life, the road of a nation, the highway of a people's history. The Nile was not just a physical entity to the ancient Egyptians, it was a spiritual river, an integral part of their religious beliefs. This mighty river wasn't simply seen as a water source, but rather a divine entity, a god that breathed life into the land and its people. The Nile was personified as the god Hapi, the lord of the fishes and birds of the marshes, symbolizing fertility and life. Hapi was revered and worshipped. His blessings sought to ensure the river's annual flooding, bringing with it the rich, fertile soil that sustained the kingdom. The river's cyclical flooding echoed the cycle of life and death, a rhythm deeply ingrained in the spirituality of ancient Egypt. This natural phenomenon became a divine event in their eyes, a testament to their god's grace and benevolence. The river was the stage for numerous myths and rituals, its banks hosting ceremonies that paid homage to its sacred attributes. One such tale was the myth of Osiris, the god of the afterlife, the underworld, and rebirth. His body, torn into pieces by his brother Seth, was said to have been scattered across the Nile, making the river a symbol of rebirth and eternal life. This tale was central to the ancient Egyptians' belief in the afterlife, further elevating the Nile's spiritual significance. The river was also a sacred pathway, a celestial river that mirrored the Milky Way, guiding the pharaohs to the afterlife. The importance of this belief was reflected in the construction of the royal tombs and pyramids, aligning them with the river, the celestial bodies, and the cardinal points, a testament to the Nile's role as a spiritual guide. The Nile was more than a river. It was a deity, a provider, a life-giver, a spiritual guide, and a pathway to the afterlife. It was the heartbeat of the civilization, pulsating with the rhythms of daily life and the cycles of the seasons. To the ancient Egyptians, the Nile was a divine gift, a river of life and death, a deity to be revered and appeased. The Nile, with its gifts of fertility, transportation, and spiritual significance, left a lasting legacy on ancient Egypt. The Nile River's influence on ancient Egypt was far-reaching, coloring every aspect of life and shaping a civilization that stands as a marvel of human history. Its life-giving waters were the canvas upon which the Egyptians painted their culture, their art, their science, and their architecture. In art, the Nile was a muse, its winding path, teeming wildlife, and fertile banks inspiring countless works of art. It was the backdrop of many tales, with its gods and goddesses playing pivotal roles in Egyptian mythology. The river's annual flooding, a symbol of rebirth, was immortalized in many artistic forms, from sculpture to hieroglyphics. The Nile's importance was also evident in architecture. The river's mud was used to create the bricks for buildings, while its stones were quarried for monuments and temples. The alignment of these structures often followed the river's path, showing how the Nile guided the Egyptians not just in their daily lives, but also in their monumental endeavors. In the realm of science, the Nile was a natural laboratory. The river's predictable cycles led to the development of one of the world's first calendars. Its fauna and flora were subjects of study, leading to advancements in botany and zoology. The need to manage its waters resulted in groundbreaking engineering feats, such as the construction of dams and canals. Culturally, the Nile shaped the Egyptians' worldview. It shaped their social structures, with those living along its banks forming the backbone of Egyptian society. It influenced their religious beliefs, with the river itself being revered as a deity. Today, the Nile continues to hold a central place in Egyptian life, its waters still nurturing the land and its people. The river's legacy lives on, not just in the monuments and artifacts that dot its banks, but also in the hearts and minds of the Egyptians who continue to draw inspiration from its timeless allure. From the dawn of civilization to the present day, the Nile remains the lifeblood of Egypt, a testament to its timeless allure and enduring legacy.
In the heart of the ancient world, along the banks of the majestic Nile River, a flourishing civilization emerged. A civilization whose lifeblood flowed not just from the Nile's waters, but from the bountiful flora that adorned its banks. Join us as we embark on a journey through time to explore the rich tapestry of plants that sustained and enriched ancient Egypt. The climate and unique geography of the Nile Delta offered a wide variety of plant species. Many of these plants served as sustenance for the ancient Egyptians and as valuable crops for trade. The Nile's consistent seasons allowed Egypt to sustain itself for centuries. As we delve deeper into the world of ancient Egypt's flora, we uncover not only the botanical richness, but also the cultural significance that these plants held. Join us on this captivating journey as we explore the flora of ancient Egypt, a testament to the ingenuity, spirituality, and enduring legacy of this remarkable civilization. One of the key factors that enabled the growth of this advanced society was the favorable climate of the Nile Delta. The Nile River, with its annual flooding, brought nutrient-rich silt that rejuvenated the soil, creating the ideal conditions for agriculture. The predictable flood cycle of the Nile allowed farmers to cultivate a wide variety of crops, ranging from grains like wheat and barley to vegetables like onions and garlic. The fertility of the Nile Delta was legendary, and it was often described as the gift of the Nile. In addition to crops, the Nile's waterways provided a natural irrigation system, allowing farmers to efficiently manage their fields. But the importance of the Nile extended beyond just agriculture. It was the lifeblood of the entire civilization, a source of drinking water, transportation, and sustenance for countless species of plants and animals. The Nile's consistent seasons allowed Egypt to sustain itself for centuries, and its banks teemed with a rich variety of flora. Yet, possibly the most iconic and versatile plant of ancient Egypt was the papyrus. Papyrus, scientifically known as Cyperus papyrus, was a tall sedge plant that grew in abundance along the water's edge of the Nile. Its slender stalks, topped with tufts of feathery leaves, reached skyward, creating lush green corridors along the riverbanks. The ancient Egyptians cherished papyrus for its many uses, some of which may surprise you. While it is widely recognized as a writing material, serving as the precursor to paper, the ancient Egyptians found numerous other functions for this remarkable plant. Papyrus was not just a medium for recording history, it was used to create sturdy ropes, durable sandals, and comfortable mats. The versatility of papyrus extended even further. Papyriform boats, crafted from the stems of the papyrus plant, were a common sight on the Nile. These boats served not only as practical vessels for transportation and fishing, but also as symbols of spiritual significance. They were often featured in paintings and reliefs and played a central role in ritualistic ceremonies. The papyrus plant, with its multifaceted utility, was a testament to the resourcefulness of the ancient Egyptians. But papyrus was just one element in the botanical mosaic that adorned the Nile Delta. The ancient Egyptians lived in harmony with nature, and the plants that surrounded them were not only sources of sustenance but also integral to their culture and spirituality. One of the most important trees in ancient Egypt was the date palm, Phoenix dactylifera. Its sweet and nutritious fruits, known as dates, were a staple food in the Egyptian diet. The date palm not only provided sustenance but also offered valuable resources. Its leaves were woven into baskets, mats, and even roofs for homes. The ancient Egyptians also used various parts of the date palm for medicinal purposes, demonstrating their deep knowledge of plant-based remedies. Alongside the date palm, the carob tree, Ceratonia siliqua, and the tamarisk tree, Tamarix spp, were commonly found along the banks of the Nile. The carob tree, with its long, pod-like fruits, provided a nutritious food source. Carob pods were not only consumed as a sweet treat, but were also used as a unit of measurement for precious commodities like gold, earning them the nickname Egyptian gold. Tamarisk trees, on the other hand, were known for their salt-tolerant nature. They played a vital role in preventing soil erosion and improving the overall ecological stability of the Nile Delta. In addition to their ecological importance, tamarisk trees provided wood for construction and fuel. As we explore further, we encounter the rich variety of fruits that adorned Egyptian orchards. The earliest fruit tree cultivated in ancient Egypt was the fig tree, Ficus carica. Its sweet, pear-shaped fruits were not only delicious, but also symbolized fertility and abundance. The cultivation of figs dates back to the early dynastic period, showcasing the long-standing connection between the Egyptians and their fruit trees. Over time, other fruit trees found their place in Egyptian orchards. The apple, Malus domestica, was introduced, offering a crisp and refreshing alternative to the fig. The pomegranate, Punica granatum, with its jewel-like seeds, added a burst of color and flavor to the Egyptian diet. These fruits became not only culinary staples but also symbols of vitality and prosperity. And during the era of the New Kingdom, the olive tree, Alia europea, was introduced to Egypt. The cultivation of olive trees marked a significant culinary and economic development. Olive oil, extracted from the fruit, became a valuable commodity, used not only for cooking but also for lighting lamps and as an essential ingredient in cosmetics. As the ancient Egyptians diversified their orchards, they embraced the flavors and benefits of these fruits. Yet, the botanical story of ancient Egypt is not limited to its orchards and cultivated plants. The lush vegetation along the banks of the Nile was a testament to the adaptability and resilience of the plant kingdom in the face of the river's annual inundation. But the flora of ancient Egypt was more than just a source of sustenance and construction materials. It was deeply intertwined with spirituality and mythology. The acacia tree, Acacia spp, held a special place in Egyptian culture and religion. It was associated with Horus, the falcon-headed god of kingship and the sky. The acacia's resilience in harsh desert conditions symbolized the divine protection and strength of Horus, the patron god of Egypt. The divinities Thoth and Seshat, often portrayed as scribes, were depicted inscribing the reign of the king into the trunk of a pasea tree, Pasea americana. This ritualistic act signified the recording and preservation of the king's legacy for eternity. The sycamore tree, Ficus sycamoris, was another species deeply connected to Egyptian spirituality. Known for its distinctive, broad leaves and wide canopy, the sycamore tree was associated with the goddess Iset, also known as Isis, the patron of the ritual of life. The sycamore's shade and life-giving properties were symbolic of the goddess's nurturing and protective nature. These spiritual connections between the people of ancient Egypt and the plant world reflected their profound reverence for the natural environment. As we reflect on the flora of ancient Egypt, we recognize that it was not only a source of sustenance and cultural significance, but also a testament to the ingenuity and resourcefulness of this remarkable civilization. Join us on this immersive journey as we continue to unravel the flora of ancient Egypt, revealing the threads of history, culture, and spirituality that wove together to create one of the most enduring and influential civilizations in history. To truly appreciate the significance of these plants, we must delve into the daily lives of the ancient Egyptians and understand how they harnessed the power of nature to thrive in the arid landscape of the Nile Delta. Agriculture was the cornerstone of Egyptian society, and the annual flooding of the Nile was a highly anticipated event. As the river swelled with water and nutrients, it spilled over its banks, creating fertile silt deposits that transformed the surrounding land into a verdant oasis. The rich alluvial soil was perfect for cultivation, and the ancient Egyptians wasted no time in planting their crops. Wheat and barley were among the primary grains grown, serving as the staples of the Egyptian diet. These grains were not only consumed as bread and porridge, but were also used in brewing beer, a dietary staple that was central to social and religious gatherings. Onions and garlic, known for their flavor and medicinal properties, were cultivated alongside grains. The predictable flood cycle of the Nile allowed farmers to plan their planting and harvesting with precision. This mastery of the river's rhythms contributed to the stability and prosperity of Egyptian society. In addition to its role in agriculture, the Nile River served as a natural irrigation system. Canals were dug to divert water to the fields, ensuring that even areas farther from the riverbanks could be cultivated. The Egyptians were pioneers in the field of irrigation, employing innovative methods such as the shadaf, a counterweighted lever, to lift water from the river. The efficient management of water resources allowed the civilization to flourish in an otherwise arid environment. But the Nile River was not just a source of sustenance, it was the lifeblood of ancient Egypt, supporting not only agriculture but also transportation and trade. The ancient Egyptians were skilled boat builders, and the Nile provided the perfect highways for their vessels. Boats of various sizes and designs crisscrossed the river, carrying goods, people, and ideas. Trade flourished along the Nile, connecting the different regions of Egypt and facilitating the exchange of commodities like grains, textiles, and pottery. This robust trade network allowed Egypt to access valuable resources from other regions of the ancient world, further enriching their culture and economy. The Nile River was not only a conduit for physical goods, but also for cultural exchange and the dissemination of knowledge. Scholars and scribes traveled along the river, sharing information and recording the history, religion, and scientific achievements of the civilization. It was this dynamic interplay of people and resources along the Nile that allowed Egypt to thrive for millennia. As we conclude our exploration of the flora of ancient Egypt, we are reminded that the civilization's greatness was not solely a product of monumental architecture or military conquests. It was also a testament to the profound connection that the ancient Egyptians had with the natural world. The Nile Delta, with its predictable floods and fertile soil, offered the perfect canvas for a civilization to flourish. And the plants that thrived along its banks, from the majestic papyrus to the humble date palm, were not just sources of sustenance but also threads in the rich tapestry of Egyptian culture and spirituality. Each plant carried a unique significance, whether through its practical uses or its role in religious rituals. The ancient Egyptians understood that their existence was intimately intertwined with the natural world around them. In their daily lives, they celebrated the bounty of the land, the life-giving waters of the Nile, and the sacred connection between the plant kingdom and the divine. It is through this lens that we can truly appreciate the flora of ancient Egypt, a vital and vibrant aspect of a civilization that continues to captivate and inspire us to this day. As we bid farewell to the captivating world of ancient Egypt, let us carry with us the profound lessons of harmony with nature and reverence for the gifts it bestows. The Nile Delta may have been the cradle of an ancient civilization, but it also serves as a timeless reminder of the enduring relationship between humanity and the natural world. The flora of ancient Egypt, a story of sustenance, spirituality, and a civilization that bloomed like the lotus in the Nile, will forever be etched in the annals of history.